Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Mystic Destinies, and we are continuing reading the other endings for the other guys. My bird just decided to go nuts. So we'll be going through and doing Sho's dark ending. So, like I said in the last part, this was extremely difficult, and I'm not looking forward to reading this ending. I don't want the dark endings or the bad endings. They're gonna hurt me. It hurt me just to go through and literally pick like all the things you were supposed to pick and be like, okay, let me say this, and I've got to choose all this bad thing and like yell at him and do all these horrible things, especially to Sho. It was like, I don't want to choose these. Because like you just skip through all the text because you've read it all before and then you just have to pick the thing. And I'm like, I can't, I'm like, have to not think about it as I'm clicking these things, like yell at him and be a jerk. I don't know. Anyway, so we're gonna go through his dark ending. So this is the final chapter. I wake up with a start. I get the feeling that I was having a nightmare, but whatever it was, I can only remember faint images of it. My heart beats wildly against my ribcage. I struggle to breathe. My hands shake like a leaf in the wind. Where am I? I rub my eyes and look around, still half dazed. Seeing the familiar surroundings of my bedroom, I breathe a sigh of relief. I'm home. That's good. I slowly pull myself out of bed, carefully stepping onto the floor. The floorboards softly creak under my footsteps as I move toward the living room. I stop in the doorway. When my toes touch the cold floor, I shiver. Almost instantly, I see Sho sleeping on my couch. He looks like he always has, even before. I chew on my lip. Anxiety gnaws at me like some vicious beast. What in the world is that noise in the background? I take a step closer to Sho, then freeze. Images of Sho disintegrating right in my arms flash before my eyes. I shake my head, take a deep breath, and step forward. I reach out for Sho and gently, carefully touch his shoulder. Relief floods to me when I feel his solid form. A single thought comes to me. I was terrified that him coming back to life was all just a dream. Sho stirs at my touch. No, you're my star. Huh? I poke him in the chest and his eyes fly open. Sho gives me a confused look. Huh? What? He cuts himself off, wide-eyed, as if he suddenly just realized who woke him. Oh, Inara, it's you. Sorry, for a second I forgot where I was. Sho. He reaches out to me and pulls me closer, wrapping me in his warm arms. I rest my head on his chest. This doesn't seem very dark. His heart beats in a steady rhythm, further calming my worries that this might only be a dream. You're okay. Sho tightens his hold on me, repeating those words over and over in a quiet whisper. I can't begin to guess how much time passes like this. But here, in his arms, I never want it to end. And yet, I can't hold back telling him how I feel. I pull away to look into his eyes. Oh, Sho, I'm so happy I'm so happy you're back. I don't know what I was going to do without you. When you died, it felt like my heart died with you. Unable to hide my feelings, I looked down as the tears streamed down my face. I was prepared to do whatever I could to get you back. If I came out functional enough after whatever Julius had planned for me. The last part I add is a whisper. Sorry. I look up again to see a pensive Sho. He opens his mouth to speak when the room is suddenly filled with the sound of vibration. We look to the coffee table to see Sho's phone dancing on as it vibrates. I can see Shinji's picture on the flashing screen. Sho sees it too and grabs his phone. He gives me an apologetic look as he answers it. Hey, Shin. Yeah, everything's fine. She just woke up. I can only vaguely hear what Shinji is saying from the other end. Thus, I'm left with listening only to half of the conversation. What? No way, we weren't doing that. Sho suddenly blushes a deep tomato red. Aww, cause Shinji's a little perv and would be banging her. He's like, are you doing it right now? Why would I answer the phone, Shinji? I try to hold back my own amusement. Yes, I'm sure. Anyway, I'm gonna stay with Inara a little longer, so we can catch up on everything later. His words make me realize something. Since coming back to life, he's only spent time with me, taking care of me. He saw the guys for a moment when we were leaving Julius's mansion, but otherwise he hasn't seen or talked to them. The happiness that spreads through me is weighted down by guilt. Sho is just a friend still. He's not my boyfriend or anything. At least not yet. I watch him for a moment while he talks to Shinji on the phone. In a split-second decision, I grab it out of his hand. What? Hey! Sorry, Sho. I put the phone to my ear. Hey, Shinji, can you get everyone else to come over? Also bring some food. I'm starving. You sure? Yeah, see you guys soon. Sho attempts to make a grab for his phone, but I quickly end the call and then hand it back to him. He frowns, but I do my best to ignore it. I jump to my feet and do my best to sound cheery. Well, they'll be here soon, so I'll get changed and make some tea for everyone. I head for my room, leaving Sho behind before he can say anything else. After I finish getting dressed, I head straight for the kitchen area and start on getting everything prepared. Even as I attempt to distract myself with work, my guilt-ridden thoughts refuse to leave me be. What have I been doing? The guys must miss Sho terribly, especially since they haven't seen him since then. I held back a sigh. Sho and I haven't even talked about what we are now. I would love it if he became my boyfriend, but we haven't talked, haven't said anything about that spontaneous love confession. What if he doesn't want to be my boyfriend? What if he just wants to remain friends? Although logically I understand that it's far more likely that he would, especially since he did that. But logic rarely holds sway over emotions, thus I'm left to quietly fight my doubts. What if it was just a spur-of-the-moment thing? Everything was really intense back there. Maybe he'll realize it was all just a bad idea. Or worse, he'll finally realize that it was my fault that he died and he'll just decide that he doesn't want to be around me anymore. Ah, shut up, brain! I mutter to myself, nearly dropping the kettle by accident. The doorbell rings, not a moment too soon. I turn to Sho and ask him to open the door, but he's already on the move. Oh, he's a good houseboy. Soon enough, I can hear the familiar voices of our friends out in the hallway. I suddenly get the feeling I'm being watched. I turn around to find a very nervous-looking Takumi. With his hands in his pocket, he looks at me like a puppy that's just been kicked. Hey, Taku. I'm sorry. Huh? For what? I'm so sorry. I know it was your decision to stay there, and that you were just doing it to protect us. But I'm so sorry I just left you there. We were making a breakout plan to get you out of there, but then you went and got yourself out. The words spill out of his mouth so fast that I barely have time to blink. I'm so happy, no, we all are, that you're safe and that Sho is alive again. It's so good to see you guys. For a moment we thought we'd never see you again, and... He continues to ramble on. All I can really do is stare at him. And... Does he not need to breathe? I can't help it. A giggle escapes my lips, and before I realize it, I'm already laughing. Takumi quiets down and stares at me with a puzzled expression. I got up. With a little nod, he heads over to the living room area, and I follow behind him. In an instant, my eyes fall onto Sho, who apparently has been setting up all the snacks that the guys brought. It's almost like we're a married couple greeting guests into our home. I realize what I'd just been thinking a little too late, and I can feel the heat flooding to my face. My cheeks feel so warm, I could swear you could cook an egg on them. Crap, just act normal and hope no one notices. I'm beyond grateful that none of the guys can read minds. At least I hope they can't. I look at everyone gathered around the coffee table and my eyes meet Sho's. Inara, are you alright? You're all red. Sho immediately rises up to his feet, and within seconds he's standing in front of me, his golden eyes shining with worry. He attempts to check for my temperature, and we're supposed to say, grab his hand to stop him. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I grab his hand to stop him from touching me. Feeling his warm, soft hand of mine just makes me blush harder. Oh. Is this really a dark path? I don't know. Hurriedly, I drop it and move past Sho. But please, don't worry about me. I'm just a little tired. Well, okay, if you're sure, but you should at least sit down, just in case. I feel a little bad about handling it that way, but I know my own overexcited heart would betray me. I comply and take a seat, and I'm headed a steaming cup of tea and some adorable cat-shaped cookies. So, what happened after we left? Instinctively, I look at Sho. Our eyes meet and he gives me an encouraging smile. Well, Yulia showed me to my room, and... Oh, I gotta sneeze. Hold on. Sorry. I said it in the last part. I'm a little sick right now. I'm trying to record a bunch of stuff because I didn't get a lot of stuff recorded for this week. Because it was a last-minute trip to see family over Thanksgiving. We had family medical stuff that we had to deal with, and and then now with Takumi's route not coming out, I have, changed my schedule around, so I'm trying to record a bunch of these things, but, I came back from vacation, got home, I'm so glad to be home, but I'm so glad I went, but I'm also, like, glad to be home. You know, like that where you're like, I love spending time with my family, but at the same time you're like, but it's still kind of like my comfortable space. And I'm glad I got home on Saturday with enough time to kind of record some stuff, but I'm like, but I have to, like, come home sick. And it's just starting, so I know it's only going to get worse. But I'm on that verge where, like, my head kind of hurts, my throat kind of hurts, and I'm like, I just want to, like, nap. So, anyway, sorry. I do my best at recounting the events at Carroll Manor, although perhaps subconsciously I end up being a little vague on some of the details. I somehow managed to gloss over what Julius did to me during the ritual, vowing to myself to possibly tell them someday. Thankfully, no one asks me to be more specific. I see, so that's what his end goal was. It's a shame he couldn't find a better way to achieve it, though. Yes. Oh, I just remembered. After you left, he discovered the dagger he needed for the ritual was somehow broken, and it actually delayed his plans just enough. That was your doing, Takumi, wasn't it? Yeah, I figured it looked important enough. Glad I could help somehow. Because he doesn't have magic. We're probably going to find out he does and can't wait for his route. After that, the conversation veers towards a more casual side of things, and the guys explain what they did during that time. Apparently, they were coming up with a plan to get me out the whole time. I smile when I think about how they hadn't given up on me, even when I had. Before we know it, the sun's already starting to set. The guys helped me clean up and get ready to leave. It was good to see you both. Certain members of our party were extremely agitated by not knowing what state you were in. So I think everyone's going to feel better now. What he means is, we were all worried about you. And it's good to know you got out of there okay. Yep, now we'll get out of here so you can get some rest. Yeah. As they move out the door one by one, Sho waits around, hovering by the entrance. So, yeah, I should go home then. I almost want to tell him to stay, and he doesn't look eager to leave. He's worried about me. I try to give him my best smile. I'll be fine, Sho. I'll go have a nice relaxing bath and go to sleep. You should go too. Sleeping on my couch can't have been that comfortable for you at all. Well, no, I mean, it was fine. More comfortable than the sofa in the business club, anyway. He laughs lightly and smiles. I can tell he's still worried, but he's trying not to be so obvious about it. Okay then, I'll call you in the morning. Just not too early. I giggle, remembering the first time he took me to Chala. With one last goodbye, Sho walks off to a waiting Shinji. I watch their retreating backs until I can no longer see them, and then shut my door. After the guys left, I had a nice, long, and very relaxing bath. I ended up nearly falling asleep in the tub. Nothing wrong with that. Unless you slip in and drown, then there's something wrong with that. But when I changed to my pajamas, I finally realized just how tired I am. I yawned, feeling like I could sleep for an eternity. Would that make me Sleeping Beauty then? And would that mean Sho would get to be my prince who wakes me up with a kiss? Wait, no. What am I thinking? How embarrassing. I cover my burning cheeks with my hands, trying to cool myself down. I am so glad no one can read my mind. I shake away my embarrassment and finally crawl into bed. As soon as my head hits the pillow, I find myself drifting, and I fall asleep. The end. A strange sound startles me, and I bolt up from my bed, and she's dressed. What was that? Strangled yells come from the living room? I scramble out of bed and run to the door. I carefully peek through the door, and what I see makes my heart stop. The sun shines behind Julius, standing in my living room, casting a shadow. But it was night. Suddenly, there with him is Sho. I can't move. Julius grabs Sho by the neck and holds him up. His feet dangle in the air. Sho claws at Julius's hand, desperate for a breath of air, but Julius does not budge. The door between us disappears. I'm still completely frozen, unable to do anything. Tears stream down Sho's face as he desperately tries to free himself. Our eyes lock, and I can see the silent pleas for help in his eyes. But I can't move. Even from here, I can see the light fade from his golden eyes. Sho? As his body crumbles into ash, Julius turns to look at me. An amused smile plays on his lips. Come to see your sweet bird die again. I don't remember how I did his voice, but whatever. His laugh is strangely cold. I blink, and suddenly he's changed somehow. This time you won't come back, little butterfly. It's just you and me now. Julius moves gracefully toward me, almost gliding above the floor. He reaches out with a clawed hand, right for my neck. No! I jolt up. Oh, sweet Jesus. I was gonna say, that's definitely took a dark turn. For a dark path. My eyes won't focus. I can't see. I can hear someone screaming until I realize it's me. I'm screaming. My lungs burn like liquid fire. It's hard to breathe. I can't stop screaming. It's like my own voice won't listen. My whole body shivers and shakes. My room is starting to feel all too small. It feels like the walls are closing in on me. Breathe in, breathe out. I try to calm myself. I don't know if it's working, because holy crap. Your room's getting smaller. Somehow I manage to stop screaming, but the image of Sho crumbling to ash won't leave my mind. Sho, I have to go. I jump out of bed, grab my coat, and quickly put on some shoes. We should have known when she woke up and she was wearing her clothes and her pajamas. I dash out of my apartment with only one thing in mind. I run through the quiet streets, ignoring my own burning lungs, ignoring my body begging me to stop. I can't stop, not now. She's running in pajamas. Are those... Oh, they're bunny pajamas. I didn't know if they were different. They look like whales first, but they're bunnies. She's always wearing the same bunny jammies. What if Sho coming back to life was just a dream? I know I felt him. He was real and solid and alive. But my mind won't stop conjuring up horrible scenarios, each one worse than the last. What if he only came back for a bit? What if he's... I try to quiet down my thoughts and focus on running instead. As soon as I reach their apartment door, I bang my fists against the door. When the door flies open... A lot of the use of the word door in that. I almost accidentally punch a very surprised-looking Sho. Inara? What's wrong? I throw myself at him, wrapping my arms around his neck. My whole body is still shaking, although at this point I'm not sure if it's from the run or something else. You're alive. You're okay. You could have just texted him. I keep whispering those words as a mantra. Sho doesn't comment. Instead, he tightly wraps his arms around me. He gently rubs my back in little circles, and almost instantly I can feel myself stop shaking. I don't look up. I don't move at all. I had a dream. A nightmare. You were dead. Killed again. It all seems so real. I had to be sure you were okay. I ran all the way here. I couldn't wait. I mumble my explanation with my face on his shoulder. I can't see his expression, but he gives me a tight squeeze. Oh, come with me. He carefully guides me into the apartment. Thankfully, Shinji wasn't awake, so Sho led me straight to his room. Sho tucks me into his bed and disappears for a moment, only to come back with a cup of hot chocolate for me. Oh! He gently hands me the cup, and I breathe in the soothing scent of chocolate. I take a few sips of the hot drink while he quietly holds my hand. Before I know it, the words fall out of my mouth. I tell Sho everything. I have to sneeze again. I'm so sorry. Sorry! That's what happens when you're... One, you have allergies, and two, you're sick. I don't even know what the hell's going on right now, but anyway. Okay, I tell Sho everything. Somehow, because it's Sho, I'm able to pour my heart out completely. He listens to me without interrupting, giving my hand another reassuring squeeze as I don't spare him any details. When I'm done talking, silence settles over the room. I'm not really sure what the hell is happening here, because, I mean, it seems like a normal path, like, average, not anything, you know, super romantic-y or beautiful, but it doesn't seem dark to me, so I don't know. Thank you for listening. Of course. When I died, I became a spirit. I saw how distressed everyone was. Spirit? He was there with me the entire time? But, Sho, why did you do that? Jump in front of me, I mean. Why? I can't help myself. The question is out of my mouth before I can even think about it. Sho looks thoughtful for a moment. The moment I saw the Blackfyre hurtling towards you, I felt this horrible feeling. It was like my heart suddenly stopped and froze over. It was like the world slowed down and I didn't even have to think about it. I pushed you out of the way because it felt only natural to take an attack meant for you. He pauses. I bite my lip, waiting for him to continue. It's not that I think my own life is worthless in comparison or anything like that. It's just that I realize that a world without you is something I didn't want to see. So I figured a world without me, if you have to live with that, whatever. So. Easier for me. Huh. That's why I did it. I know it was selfish of me, but I couldn't stand even the thought of it. Oh, Sho. I don't say anything. Instead, I give his hand a squeeze back to let him know that I'm here to listen. After I became a spirit, I saw you briefly. I was going to talk to... For some reason, I ended up expelled from the manor. I don't know why, but one second I was next to you, and the next I was somewhere near Hagawara. I tried coming back to you, but I just kept getting ejected. He sighs. Since I couldn't get anywhere with that, I went to check on the guys. And I actually found them absorbed in coming up with plans to save you. I managed to get some help in breaking the barrier around the manor that was keeping me out. When I finally did find you, you were at the pier. You were crying, and I was so desperate to try and do something. I wanted to hold you and tell you that everything would be okay. Sho, you were so close and I didn't even know it. I wish I could have told you that I would be okay. I wish I could have been stronger for you. When the ritual started, I was right there with you. I saw everything. I think my overwhelming desire to help you took over. Suddenly I felt an odd tug at my chest and I followed it. I felt myself being dragged into the physical world as my body reformed. The feeling was weird. And after we defeated Julius and you went to sleep, I ended up falling asleep on your couch. I dreamt that I was still a spirit, forced to watch as you were being tortured, but I wasn't able to do anything about it. He falls silent and looks into my eyes. Behind those beautiful gold eyes, I can see the worry and fear that he carries. And I can sense that he can see the same in my eyes. We don't need words to express this. No matter what, I'll be there to help you. I promise to be there for you. Sho. Yes, I promise the same. No matter what, I'll always be there for you too. Even when things get too much. No, especially then. And, about before. My heartbeat speeds up, drumming away some invisible rhythm. I swallow hard. Well, when I said that I love you, Sho stiffens. Oh no, don't tell me. No, can't stop here, not now. I meant it then. And I do, still. I love you. As I say it, my heart only beats harder. I can swear it's so loud that Sho must be able to hear it. To my relief, Sho relaxes and smiles. You have no idea how happy it makes me to hear you say that. I was afraid that maybe you said it in the heat of the moment before. Me too. I was afraid that maybe you said it back then because of what was happening around us. I find myself remembering that awful day, holding a dying Sho in my arms. Suddenly, I remember that there was something he tried to tell me before. Sho, what was it that you wanted to tell me? You didn't get a chance to say it back then. Something I wanted to... Oh, I wanted to tell you what I'd already started to realize back then. What I would have regretted not being able to say for eternity. That I loved you. Sho's eyes sparkle with something I can't quite place. He leans in closer, our face so close that I can feel heat from his body. Now that I've gotten a second chance at life, I'll spend the rest of mine saying it. Until the end of time and beyond. How is this a dark path? I don't understand. I love you, Inara, unless he's going to just explode. His lips press against mine and everything seems to fade around us. The kiss feels so soft and warm. But it ends almost as abruptly as it began. Sho gives me an apologetic look. Sorry, but if we keep going... it's late. You should get some sleep now? I'm gonna go sleep on the couch so you can get comfy here. Sho moves to get up, but I instantly grab his hand. Stay. Oh, unless it's like Julius, like messing with her mind. That would be dark. He looks surprised, then serious. Are you sure? I nod. Ooh, I couldn't be surer. To prove my point, I tug on Sho's arm and pull him down onto the bed. He laughs. All right, I get it. He finally crawls under the covers with me. As we start to get comfortable, he wraps his arms around me. He gives me a little squeeze. Nice pajamas, by the way. Sho whispers into my ear. His breath tickles and I squirm in his arms and laugh. I completely forgot I just ran out in my pajamas. Enveloped by Sho's warmth, I find it all too easy to fall asleep. Dude, my bunny jammas are hot, okay? Don't even. You're totally turned on by these bunnies. How is that a dark path? I can't listen to the song because it'll make me weepy. Let's go see what our last gallery photo is. We didn't have one. We were still missing one. I feel like because there's dark endings, there's supposed to be bad endings, but there's got to be bad endings for Sho, too. I mean, especially if there's whatever this is that we're missing. You know what I mean? And I've done all the paths. So there's got to be something that we're missing and that nobody has walkthroughs for. So if anybody finds any kind of walkthroughs for any kind of bad endings for Sho, I could use those. Leave them in comments because I already have all of them set up and ready to go for Tatsuya and Shinji, and I'm sure after Takumi's Red As Out we'll have those too, but to not have any bad paths for Sho just seems odd to me, especially because there's a CG missing. So we're missing one of those screens, so. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this part up here, and when we come back, we will start on Tetsuya's paths, the other endings. I think we have to do his passionate one. We didn't do that one, so. Yeah. I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up, and subscribe to see more.